here today. I thank Mr. Crump for being here to do this news for us. And I also thank Mr. Iverson, who was a great surprise for us. They brought such energy to the room and created such momentum in my heart. So I thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to share that.
Had I not already been signed up, I would have signed up again. I learned again that I am and we are at the right place at the right time with Organo Gold.
We're here in Columbus, Mississippi. We have just had the most phenomenal training event ever. And if you're anywhere near Columbus, Mississippi and you missed it, oh my God, you missed out. We had two of the most fabulous trainers ever in Organo Gold. We had Spencer Iverson and Crump. Off the chain. The stuff that they shared with us today is valuable. It's going to take my business, I know, to the very next level. Sapphire, here I am.
I'm telling you, you want to get ready for that. Because this guy is one of the premier trainers in the world. And I'm excited about that. So I was like, hey man, you got to give us something while you're here in Columbus. But in terms of the 4 steps and diving into it, I'm going to be honest with Iverson, when I actually made my way down to Houston to meet with Mr. Holton Buggs for the very first time, and he told me this was the infrastructure for Organo Gold, and this is what they were doing to have success in the company. I didn't believe it. I'm like, I'm sitting down and I'm like, well, Mr. Buggs, hey man, tell me what y'all really do. He's like, no, this is it. This is the infrastructure. I'm like, no, man, listen, man. We in a private meeting. Tell me how to have the success. He said, Demons, this is the infrastructure that will maintain your organization once you implement it when people get started. Because here's the first thing that everyone in the room has to do if you're getting started and want to have some success. You ready? You have to become a product of the product. You know why that's so important? Let me show you why. Because I may give you the shock of your life with this statement I'm about to make, Mr. Iverson, but here's what I want you to hear. By becoming a product of the product, do you realize that most distributors are going to quit? They're going to leave. But guess what, guys? I have people that are no longer working in the business, but they're ordering the product every month. You know why? Because by following the system, they weren't able to get an attachment of the product. Now you may say, well, Demond, you don't drink coffee. I don't. But guess what, guys? I love that green tea. Just had me a cup this morning. Hey, guys, I love the red tea. I love the soap. I shave with it. I bathe with it. Everything. I love the toothpaste. So I have products that I have been able to get an attachment to. Mr. Iverson?
Being a product of the product also allows you to have a testimonial. How many of you like sales? You're a salesperson. You love sales. Okay, I can't stand sales. I can't stand. Sales to me connotes a meaning of convincing, and I don't like to convince people of stuff, right? So when I'm selling, I don't like to sell, right? But I do like to tell. I don't mind sharing with you my story. So when you're a product of the product, guess what you now have? You have these stories. So I'm not a coffee drinker, but I am a tea drinker. I love our red tea. Here's what the red tea does for me. I'm able to have a cup of red tea at night, and it helps relax me, and I have a great quality of sleep at night. And I go into that deep sleep, that REM sleep, where I wake up feeling completely refreshed in the morning. Now, I'm able to go and share that story with someone, and because I have a story, they may say, you know, can you give me a sample of the red tea? And guess what all I've done is just now pique their interest without having to give them a whole lot of facts and data and statistics that they're never really going to understand anyway, and you don't know about. Mr. Iverson, how much gallon burner is in the coffee? I don't know, enough for 1 cup, right? And even if I gave you the answer to that question, would it really matter? Yes, sir, it's approximately 3 milligrams of gallon. Oh, great, because if he had said 4, I wasn't going to drink it. I mean, really, what difference would it have made? Do you know the significance of it anyway? My point is, when you have a story, when you have a testimonial, that becomes extremely powerful.
No, that's phenomenal what he just said, guys. I want you to go into the next phase of it. Set yourself up on the proper ownership. I want to breeze through this right quickly because I got to give you these bonus nuggets. This is where most people have fell asleep at the wheel on Organo Gold's compensation plan because they really don't understand. If you let a person sign up without placing them on auto ship, guys, you're doing an injustice not only to their business, but also to yours. Because there are several reasons you must maintain an auto ship. Because here's what I want you to understand. Do you all realize that if you don't have an auto ship, Organo Gold looks at you as being an inactive distributor? They don't pay an inactive position. But let me show you why you should have a monthly order as well. There's a young lady actually right here in Mississippi, out of Meridian, Mississippi. In fact, guess what happened, guys? 1 month, she didn't place an order in July. Now, she didn't tell me this. Here's what she called me and told me in August. Hey, hold on. I'm not getting any dual team checks. I'm not getting any money. Somebody gonna pay me my money. That's how she called me. That Mississippi came out. I'm like, oh, Mississippi. There's some gangsters down there. Yeah, somebody gonna pay me my money. I said, well, hold on, slow down. I said, well, what's the problem? I am not getting paid. None of my dual team commissions. I said, did you place an order? Yeah. I placed an order. I said, well, give me your back office info. Went to her back office. She placed no order in July. Well, I placed the order. I said, well, I'll tell you what, if you did, give me your account that the order was placed with, and I'm going to get you your money from Organo Gold, because I can prove now that you placed an order. I'm still waiting on it. The point that I'm making is, guys, she didn't place an order or didn't have an auto ship in July, so now it didn't pay her the entire August. She lost over $5,000 behind not placing a $100 order. Come on. See, if you're willing to pay Russian roulette with your business, because here's my thing. Now, she didn't pay the auto ship, Mr. Iverson, because guess what she didn't realize? She got a superstar coming in her business the next month. So she wasn't prepared. So now, the way that you finish the month is the way Organo Gold pays you the entire next month. This is what people don't realize. So if you go without an order, you are a representative for the entire next month. You can go diamond that following month. You will not get a dime because you're a representative for the entire month. Because the way you end the month is the way you get paid the following month. So guys, have an auto ship. Look at that as insurance on your income.
Guys, it also helps the company stay legal, right? It helps the company stay legal. That's what separates a legal pyramid from an illegal pyramid. With an illegal pyramid, you're just injecting money with the hopes and promise of making more what? Money. Making more money. In a legal pyramid, you're exchanging your money for a real product. So in the eyes of the IRS, if you're not making what they call routine capital contributions to your business, they can deem your home-based business not a business, but a hobby. And when you go to do your taxes, they can disallow all of those Schedule C deductions that Mr. Crump talked about. You will get none of those deductions because it's a hobby. So they don't really care what the amount is, even if it's just the minimum ownership of 50 points. They can say, hey, look, they're putting more money into their business. They're getting more product. Do you understand that the product in and of itself is a tax deduction? It's a business investment expense. See, guys, understand that 75% of the people who get involved in Organo Gold do so to make no money. Do you know that? 75% of the people who get involved in Organo Gold do so to make no money. They're just coffee drinkers who say, number one, it just makes sense for me to buy coffee wholesale versus retail. If I'm going to buy coffee wholesale versus retail, I might as well get it from who? From myself. So now in the terms of the IRS, my coffee habit has become a tax deduction. They're writing their coffee drinking off on their taxes. Friends don't let friends pay retail. There was an old saying when I was in high school, Mr. Crump, friends don't let friends drive drunk. Right? Friends don't let friends pay retail. So most of the folks who get involved in Organo, they don't look for money. They're looking for ways to make their habit tax deductible. Right? So guys, auto shipping is extremely powerful.
I want to say this, guys, in purchasing 2 boxes of block, and I'll tell you, you know why this is in the system? I want you to see this. Here's what most people don't know and why they don't follow the system. I want you to see this. Every time a new distributor joins, you're supposed to sell them a box of black and a box of latte at the wholesale cost. $17 per box, $34. Do you know why this is in place? See, I found, Mr. Iverson, that people do things when they understand why they should do it. See, because just because the system said this, most of y'all are not going to do it. But let me give you the ideology behind this. Do you guys realize, let me just give you the scenario. You had a wife that was here today. Her husband wasn't with her. Wife came and you know, got up here, we did the presentation, and she signed up Gold Pack, Mr. Iverson. Oh, baby, you shouldn't have been there. Ooh, they had this light-skinned, good-looking guy from You better not say that to your husband. Scratch that part. Get that off the tape, man. I'm kidding. You better not tell your husband that. They've been looking for me. Y'all don't play down here. But here's where I'm going, guys, for real. What I'm saying to you is, the wife was here, husband wasn't with her. She went home, Mr. Iverson. So excited about, what happened and, awesome presentation and baby, we got us a business now, coffee business. Husband immediately asked, where's the coffee?
That's right.
Wife just spent $1,300+ to get started. Gave him the credit card and all the personal information. No product. He don't understand that it's going to be 5 business days before it comes. But when you send her home with the product, first of all, he gets to see it. Then he also gets to sample it. And guess what happens, guys? A person can't deny what they experience. So now he didn't experience this product. This is some good stuff. This is better than what I had. So now the experience is sitting with him. But the reason why you got a person calling on Monday morning, canceling the gold pack, is because you didn't follow the system. Cancellation. Because now the wife can't battle with the husband showing her how she got schemed because she didn't understand everything. She's still brand new. Or you selling someone who got a whole bunch of negative co-workers and they're going to work on Monday, but because you didn't give them the black and the latte, something they could have till their product come, guess what, guys? Now they're discouraged about the opportunity.
That's right.
Because you're not following the system. That's why black and latte is a must for the new people. But let me tell you why you can't sell them any product, Mr. Iverson. You ready? Because you don't have none. You're not on shit.
Wow.
Well, there's something that we miss. There's something that we miss. Where it says be a product of the product, there's a word that we overlook. But it's a very powerful word. See, in law school, one of the things they teach us is the power of words. I very rarely try to misspeak because I understand there's power in words. Because if I misspeak and I got a capital punishment case, if I misspeak, my client dies. So I have to be very accurate with what I say. I have to be very careful with what I read. It says, set yourself on the proper authorship. What's the operative word in that sentence? Proper authorship. There's authorship, then there's proper authorship. The minimum authorship to stay active in Organo Gold is this right here. It's a 50-point order, 3 boxes. Black, latte, and mocha. Now you can configure it however you like, but it's a 50-point order. If you just do this each month, you will be qualified to earn dual team commissions. Now, this is the minimum authorship. How many coffee drinkers are here? Raise your hands. Okay, you just drunk all of this. You're out of business for the month. You're out of business for the month. You're out of business. You have nothing to share. You just drunk your whole supply. And see, I don't understand why, if you don't, excuse me, at some point, we've got to stop thinking about minimum. We have a minimum mindset. Everything is minimum. What's the minimum? Mr. Iverson, what's the minimum amount of time you do what you do, make what you make? You're asking me how little do I have to do to make real money? We always want to do the minimum. We have the lottery mentality in business. That's right. The lottery mentality. I want to do the least and make the most. I want to put in the least amount of effort and be a diamond. Listen, if that's you too, I think we passed the gas station right out here. Your best bet is to go to the gas station, get your favorite 6 numbers, okay, and place your bet. I want to bet $1 and win $636 million. Minimum mindset, guys. The proper authorship. I recommend at least 100 points, at least. That gives you 3 extra boxes. Because, guys, there's a stewardship principle. Now, if you can, you need to be on a case. If you want to do it big, you need to be on a case. But let's just deal with this. It's a stewardship principle. It's the principle of sowing and reaping. Okay? A man who plants a few seeds is going to have a small harvest. A guy who plants more seeds is going to have a larger harvest. Y'all follow that? Yes. There's a reason why God continues to send more people Mr. Crump's way. There's a reason why. Because what he showed was that I'm going to be a good steward of the one distributor he sent my way. I'm going to help that person become successful. And so what happens is, he's blessed with more people. Some of you have gone from deal to deal to deal to deal.
That's right.
And there are people who've made millions in all of them. you the one common denominator. Just like Elizabeth Taylor and them 7 husbands. Well, you the one common denominator. It can't be the man all the time. You the one constant in the whole equation. So you go from deal to deal to deal to deal. You the one constant. At some point, you got to change. And it starts with that mindset. Have you been a good steward of the one person that God sent your way? Did you pour everything into that person? Did you help that person? Did you take them to them, or did you do the sign and drive? Sign them up and never heard from them. You didn't follow up with them. Didn't help them earn. Right? So now, you're on the minimum ownership. And then the phone call comes. Like I got from one of my distributors in Charlotte, North Carolina. Right? She called and says, hey, there's a big church in Jacksonville, Florida. We probably don't need that, Mr. Crump.
Okay.
There's a big church in Jacksonville, Florida. Hundreds of members. They want to meet. What we'll do is
I cut it off.
I'm going to turn these lights up. Right? There's a church in Jacksonville, Florida, hundreds of members. It was a Wednesday, can you be there Friday? I said, sure. Now, they want us to present on a Friday. Mr. Medici was going to be there as well. They want us to present on a Friday. So there's going to be hundreds of folks there. Now, what if I was on the minimum auto ship? Now I'm going, right? Now I'm down going to Jacksonville with this. And this box is beat up. It's got 3 sachets of coffee in there. I got to meet with hundreds of people that night about the Organo Wood opportunity who need to sample the product. Understand, when I get there, Patricia, we are not going to have a sample. We're about to have coffee community. I'm making 1 cup, and y'all gonna sip. Because I don't have enough to sample. So why would I bless you with more people when you're not being a good steward of what you got? Why would I send a big opportunity your way? You own a minimum ownership. You got 1 box of coffee. No, I'm gonna send it to Mr. Crump, who got a truckload of coffee. That's right. Sometimes I got too much coffee. Well, you just get in position for your blessing.
That's right.
You get in position for your blessing.
That's right.
You never know when it's going to come.
That's right.
I had a kid named Tony Schuler who was buying a case of product, and he was saying, Mr. Iverson, what am I going to do with all this coffee? Next thing you know, he was going to Mr. Crump's meeting on a Thursday night. He called me almost in tears. Mr. Iverson, you don't know what just happened to me. I said, what happened, Tony? I had submitted an email last week to the National Gun Show that was coming to Atlanta. I had not heard anything from him. I was on my way into Mr. Crump's meeting, and they called and said, Mr. Schuler, our show is going to be in town. Well, your presentation is on Thursday. It's on Thursdays. We'll be in town tomorrow. We don't have a coffee vendor. We're expecting about 6,000 people. Can you come? He said, let me think about a yes. And you know why he could say yes? He had 3 cases of coffee. And just 24 hours ago, what am I going to do with all this coffee? But you know what? God sent a blessing his way. Right? Now, what would have happened? He gets the call. Right? He couldn't take advantage of the opportunity. Set yourself on a proper ownership.
Wow. That's powerful.
That's right.
Build the list of contacts. Step number 2. You know why? You know why that's so important? And let me share you with some of you guys. You never do. You've never built the list. And here's what y'all do. Facebook and all that stuff is spoiled. You throw a post out there on Facebook and hope people catch it.
What you say?
I'm having a mixer by my house. Come by. You send out a text blast. You've never built the list. See, you don't follow. You're not listening. The system says build a list of contacts. Listen to me. Write the names down. Put their phone numbers next to it. The reason why you do that is because to me, it's something spiritual about that. Because there are people that are ordained to be with you. Nobody else can have them. See, when you put their names on them lists, they're yours. You got to understand that, guys. And many people don't understand that principle of writing those names down. Do you know, I still have my original list. My original list, I had 107 names. Now, the system calls for 50 business builders, 50 coffee drinkers, and I'm going to say this about the list. I'm about to go into another lane. I didn't put people on my list that I liked.
Wow.
Say it.
I put people on my list who were 4 checkers, teachable and coachable, self-starters, who had the means to get started. These type of centers of influence. These are the type of people that made my list, because watch this, nobody on my family made my list.
Come on now.
Guess what? Y'all can tell the story, the Mind Crump, 28-day diamond, all this type of stuff. I don't have nobody in my family that said don't get no go with me with all the success we have. Not a brother, not a sister, not an aunt, not an uncle, nobody. Because I knew not to put them on my list. I knew their mindset. You guys, you think just making a list means, okay, I like Sally Sue, I like Jim Boyd, I like Pookie, Red Red's my man. And you're going to put them on the list, but you know they have no drive, they have no desire. So you're not making, it's not that the opportunity is not for you. The time will come, but I'm not putting nobody on the list who I know is not looking forward to doing anything. Why would you do that to yourself? All it's going to do is burn you out, drain you, to where now you think that the system doesn't work. Because you got a list of all the wrong people. Put quality on your list. Make a list. If that list has to be 20, 30 names, guess what? It's quality. It's people that want something. And don't be afraid to put people with influence on the list. One more small thing. Her son, Marcus Murray, guess what, Miss Murray? In my Rolodex, he was the person that was at the top of my list that had the most influence out of anybody I had in my list. Out of those 107 names, Marcus Murray is number one. Successful businessman, 140 employees now he has running his business in Detroit, Michigan. He was person number one I was going to. Because I'm not afraid to go to people with influence. I'm going to say something to you. And I want you to hear me good. The success that my wife and I have, guess why we have it? Because pretty much everybody we sponsor is better than us. Wow. See, I'm afraid to say that. Wow. They got us looking a lot better than we really are. Because I knew what type of people to bring to the table. Wow.
It's called recruiting up.
Wow.
Recruiting up. On that list, you also need to have a chicken list. A chicken list. A list of the folks you're really scared to talk to. Here's what we've learned, Mr. Crump and myself and others. We've learned you can't say the right thing, the wrong thing to the right thing to the wrong person. You can't say the right thing to the wrong person. You just got to go through the numbers. Right? On my list, I also look for entrepreneurs and business owners. As you're making that list, I look for 90+% of the people that I have personally enrolled are entrepreneurs and business owners. They just kind of get it. They understand that it takes money to make money. They're the first ones there. They're the last ones to leave. They don't ask questions like, how little do I have to do to make the kind of money you making? How long? How much time I got to? They don't ask those kind of questions. They just work. That's all they know. So when you're making a list, and guess who business owners hang around? Other who? See, some of us need to practice addition by subtraction. Hello? Yeah. Some of us need to practice addition by subtraction. What that means is there's some people right now, you got to figure out who needs to leave your circle. Everybody in your circle is right? There's a statistic that your income is a sum total of the 4 people you hang around the most. So if you're hanging around 4 broke people, it's a strong possibility you got to be number 5. Girl, I'm broke. Girl, I'm broke too, and you just revel in your brokenness. Right? See, sometimes where you're going, you have to leave some people behind. That's why Mr. Crump was saying there are no family members in his business right now. There are no family members in mine. And they celebrate our success. They come to our house. Oh my gosh. But guys, that's just not their passion. That's not their thing. There are some people in your life you're just too close to. It's called your hot market. Stay out of the hot market. See, they know, anybody have a nickname? A nickname, right? What's your nickname? Keith? What's your name? D-Rob. D-Rob. How about you, man? G&G. See, your hot market, oh, that's just G&G. Girl, that's just G&G. Oh, that's just peaches. Oh, that's just peaches. They don't see you as a successful entrepreneur. They see G&G. They see peaches, boo-boo, chain smoke. Right? They don't see this debonair international motivational speaker. That's boo-boo. And they need to see the mansion, they need to see the Rolodex, they need to see the Ferrari before they come to the first coffee jazz mixer. Right? Work in your warm market. Some people you're just too close to. Some people you need to leave behind. My family could not go where I'm going right now. But see, we're trying to run this race with ankle weights on. You're trying to run the Organo goal race with ankle weights on. Right? You got to leave some stuff behind to get where you're trying to go efficiently and effectively, Mr. Crump.
Guys, listen, four questions. I want you to understand, the 4 questions and the actual coffee retail script, that's on your back office. You need to learn that. 4 questions for all of our new guests that's here. That's the way you actually have your conversation piece with anybody with Organo Gold. Do you or anyone you know drink coffee or tea at least occasionally? See, you're asking that question like that because you're not saying, do you drink coffee? If I say no, you're dead in the water. See, you're not following the system. Right. Do you or anyone you know drink coffee or tea? See, that's an open option question. If you ask me that, I don't drink coffee, Mr. Iverson, guess what I got to say to that question? Yes. Yeah. That's what the system is designed for. So the 4 questions, listen, coffee retail script, you guys want to go to your back office and you want to research that so you can learn the 4 questions. Because this presentation we just did is on that back office that you're getting today. That's going to be on your website where you can log in, see this presentation, see the 4 steps, see the 4 questions. Everything is back there for you to grow your business. Anything on the 4 questions on retail script and styles?
Just follow the script. Don't come in here and try to deviate. Well, I used to do this in this company. Well, if that had worked for you over there, you wouldn't be here. Mr. Crump.
Well, guys, listen, step number 3. I want you guys to hear this. You have to book 4 to 6 coffee and jazz mixers per week. Hear that? Per week. 4 to 6 times per week, guys, you need to be exposed to this opportunity. Now, let me share something with you. I'm going to be honest with you. You don't have to get up here and do what Mr. Iverson did. That's a talent that's just rare. It's not, you guys were treated to have that. You don't have to do that. Listen, guys, there's a DVD. It's called The Coffee That Pays. And the #1 income earner in the world, Mr. Holton Boggs, he does the presentation for you. For all of our guests in the room, I'll ask you a question. Can you boil water and press play?
That's it.
That's it. Boiling water, have people come over. It's a 31-minute video. You put it on with Mr. Holton Boggs. Then, guys, you would either call your upline or your sponsor, the person that's bringing you into the opportunity to close the meeting out if they have any questions or concerns. Your whole meeting will be 45 minutes tops. You're done. See, the reason why I know a person is not a sapphire, I know because I know the system, is that they don't do 4 to 6 mixers a week. You look, if you're in the business and you're not a sapphire, you know that 4 to 6 times a week, you're not exposing an opportunity. Because if you was doing it, now it's duplicating with your team, you go sapphire by default. Because if you follow the system, guys, it says that guess what? If you have 5 4 checkers, 5, that come to a coffee and jazz mixer, at least 2 of them are going to get started at the $500 pack, which is 1,000 PV, guys, 1,000 qualifying volume. If you do that 4 times a week, 1,000 times 4 is how much, guys? 4,000. 4 weeks in a month is how much? 16,000. How much does it take to go sapphire? 14. It's 1 sapphire. See, the system is calculated. It's not guesswork. That's what impressed me about Organo Gold. Finally, in network marketing, I had somebody that was able to tell me or show me how they got to their success. Rather than go get them, champ. Well, hey, man, what you did to get there? Man, you gotta go in the jungle, go get them. Well, hold on, what do I need to do? Hey, man, attack. What that means? Tell me how you got there. Show me. So when David Immoniti and Holton Boggs was able to show me how they got to where they were, I couldn't believe it. You guys have a real system of success. I could not believe that to where, guys, we can sit here and we can say to you, listen, guys, if you follow this plan, it is guaranteed that you will get sapphire. It's impossible for you not. Because here's what you're thinking. Oh, well, no, I don't know all these people. No, it's not about you knowing all the people. Because the new people that you're coming on, when you go and do their mixer, that counts for you. That counts towards that 4 to 6. Wow. It doesn't have to be everybody you know. It's everybody you know through your organization.
Last night, we were in Columbus, Mississippi. Patricia in Geneva, I'm at your house. And how did we do the presentation? What did we use? We use a DVD. The system is duplicatable. I know the presentation, but what I wanted, guys, in this industry, what you do, you teach. Had I gone in there and y'all cooked the big meal, right? Fried fish, and gumbo, and fried chicken, and pecan pie and bluebell ice cream. You know about bluebell, right? Oh, yeah. Not Blue Bunny, bluebell. Blue Bunny, right? Right. And you want, because guys, like I've been to meetings. I've had meetings, guys, we cannot compete with your gumbo. We just can't. We can't compete. You walk in the house and you just smell all this food. But the start of the presentation is the presentation. Mr. Buggs is the best man for the job. And what I left them was a roadmap on how to do this. Their guests walked into the house last night and said, this is simple. Right? This is, anybody can do this. Press play. There are folks who've gone emerald and diamond just by pressing play. Right. Just by pressing play. And then there's no limit on how many times you can do it. You can do it 2 or 3 times a day. You can do 2 or 3. So guys, leverage the system. Don't feel like you got to be phenomenal like the Crump and Mr. Emily. Guys, let the #1 money earner in the world explain this opportunity presentation. And the brilliant thing about the DVD, I don't know how they do this, it's the magic in it all. It says the same thing every time. It says the same thing every time. What's the last step?
Yeah, proven success system, step number 4. I want to say this to you. Listen, you have to learn this. This is an 18-month commitment to everybody in the room. And listen, when we say 18 months, 18 months committed to the 4 steps. Not in 18 months you didn't join, you hung around, where my money at? I ain't a dime, I've been in there 18. No, guys, it's a commitment for 18 months. Jose Ordonez said something that blew me away. You know what Jose Ordonez, for you guys that don't know, Jose Ordonez is the top money earner in Organo Gold. Crown Ambassador, he's 30 years old. 30 years old. His organization does over $5 million in revenue per month. Jose Ordonez said to us, here's what he said. He says, because he's Latino, I was trying to challenge Mr. Holton Buggs. He told me, Jose, if you do what I'm telling you to do, these 4 steps, for 18 consistent months, you don't deviate, you're going to be successful beyond your wildest dreams. He says, I did it for one reason. He said, because I wanted to prove Mr. Buggs wrong. He said, because I wanted to come back in 18 months and say to Mr. Buggs, I did exactly what you said. That's how he talked. I did what you said. And I'm not having success. He said, I went and did everything Mr. Buggs told me to do with the 4 steps for 18 months. He says I was a multi-millionaire. Because he had a duplicatable system that he was able to pass down, and his entire infrastructure of his organization was being solidified behind an 18-month commitment. Guys, a year and a half, that should be a good deal. Let me show you why. Because it's 30 years before you can retire on your job. I don't know about y'all. I told you I'm not the smartest guy in the room, but I know I'm not the dumbest. Year and a half, 30, that meant, hold on. Let me see how diligently I got to do this. I'm going to try this for 18. Guys, it's virtually impossible. Let me show you how fast it can happen. It happened for me in 28 days. Because we were operating the 4 steps in the system on steroids when we got started.
The only thing I will say about the 18-month commitment is when you look at it in comparison to what we do already. See, I was sharing with Mr. Crump and with the group last night. I was having a call, and I told the team, get close to the phone, because I want you to write this down. I'm going to share with you why I feel, one of the reasons why I feel I've been so successful in this industry. They got all close to the phone, and I get ready to write. And it says, the reason why I've been so successful is, y'all ready? Y'all ready?
Yes.
I don't quit. I don't quit. If you ever hear Mr. Iverson leave a company, run as fast as you can. Because there's something going on that has just, because it's not even in my DNA. Because quitting becomes what? It becomes habit forming.
That's correct.
Some people are known more by their circumstance than they are their actual name. Hey, you know, the dude who always quit. Oh, James. Yeah, James. Because James always quits stuff. Quit the kickball team, quit the track team. That's what he does. But guys, we're saying make it. But we go to college. Somebody said they had an associate's. That was Michelle, right? What was your name?
Jury.
Okay, that was close. All right, so she said I have an associate's degree. You understand when you went for that associate's degree, it takes typically how many years? 2 years. To get a bachelor's degree, it takes typically how many years? 4. You walk in there knowing it's a 4-year program. And there's no guarantee you're going to have a job waiting on you. You take that first test, first semester, you know, where's Captain Gowns? I need to figure out my graduation information. No. You know you've got 3.5 more years to go. But we get involved in the home-based business, and in 30, 60, 90 days, we're not rich, and all of a sudden we feel we've been scammed. How does that equate? 4 years, and there's no guarantee you have a job. You get in 30, 60, 90 days, and you feel you've been scammed. Guys, make an 18-month commitment to the system. Most people don't win simply because they quit. And guess what happens? Your team is not watching Mr. Crump. They're not watching Spencer Iverson. They're not watching Mr. Buzz. They expect us to win. They're watching you. And when you quit, you know what they said to themselves? Whew, thank goodness. I'm so glad I didn't do that with you and waste my money. I don't want anybody in my circle to ever have to say, yeah, man, I'm so glad I followed you into this one. You ain't even in no more. Right? That's why a lot of us, our influence is where it is. Because we just can't stick with it.
Yeah. Leadership events. Do you guys realize this was a leadership event? And now, and I know some of you guys are probably sitting down and guess what you're saying to yourself? Boy, I should have told more people. Because you got a guy of the caliber of Spencer Iverson that's coming here. He's doing all the heavy lifting and you getting all the muscle. So all you have to do is fill a room and let him do what he's doing. Leadership events. That's why they're here. Let me show you something, guys. Let me show you how you have success in this industry. You have to show people success outside of you.
That's right.
See, you may not be having a success, but you put them in front of a Spencer Iverson, hold on. This thing is working. Because now that person may be able to identify what Mr. Iverson is doing. Now here's the deal. They're still connected to you, but they were won over by the success he had. See, most of you guys, what you're trying to do is fight the battle yourself. He just said it earlier. They're too familiar with you. Guys, do you know what I do? I'm talking about still to this day. Pointing to David and Maniche's success. Even the success we're having. Mr. Bob, Spencer Iverson's of the world. Hey, look. Hey, look at this. Flipping through that magazine I showed y'all. Pointing out the stories. Because I'm showing them success outside of myself. That's very key. Many of you guys, you need to be getting ready for San Antonio. You need to be there. Let me show you why. Because events build belief. We have a Project 50,000. And at our Project 50,000, guys, we usually have about 15,000 people that we fill an arena with. Could you imagine going there and you're sitting there in Project 50K and you got all these like-minded people all there for the same purpose, same reason? Let me show you why. I go to these big events for two main reasons. Here's the first one. Number one, I never ever ask my team to do something that I myself don't do. It's number one, period. So there's no way I can promote or tell you to be there and you don't see me. I mean, you talking about you want to lose your group, start letting them see you're a hypocrite. Here's the second reason. I go because I get a chance to see my future. When I'm looking at Jose Organo picking up a $5 million check, I'm looking at Luis Ventura picking up a $3 million check, the Steinkeller's picking up $3 million. I'm like, boy, my future looks bright. That's right. And I'm going to share something with you before I get to this side and close this out. I'm going to share something that I want you to hear. I don't want you to ever forget. God will never, ever allow you to see something that you can't have. Never! Let me tell you one reason why people don't get it. Let me show you something. I need you to hear this. There's two reasons, Mr. Iverson, why you don't get it. Because you don't believe that you deserve it. Or you should have it. Or here's the second reason. You're envious of the person that do it. So you don't know how to celebrate. You don't know how to celebrate their success like they did it. And guess what you're saying? I will be there next. So that's the only reason why. See, God would do that to you. He don't put things in your path to tempt you to. You're his child. He's showing you, listen, no, this is where I want you going. You just don't believe that you deserve to be there. It's yours. I would never put it in front of your face and do that to you. I would never have you look at Crump and hear his story and you don't know that you can have that same success. I just need you to believe that you can. It's you that's the challenge. Guys, you have to plug in to the big events and the leadership events. Guess what you guys got to start doing in Columbus? This is a small market. You guys are coming together. If one of you guys are having a mixer, you need to get people your number. Come by.
Guess what, guys? Do you know what happens when you got a house of 10, 12, 15 people and you may have 3 guests? Those 3 guests are like, oh, something happened here. They're seeing an energy in the room. Y'all come together until you're able to get into a point to where now we're doing this on a weekly basis, having a meeting. Put together, you put the market, take the entire market, and you guys come together and use that energy to propel you all forward. Wow. Well, guys, what I want to say is, I asked this gentleman, Mr. Spencer Iverson. I said, man, I need you to do me a favor. I said, you know, I know with Columbus and Miss Murray, because she got some big things brewing that's going to be happening. So I know I'm going to be back here a lot with her, working with her. So you guys will get a chance to hear from me. I wanted this guy to take about 30 minutes of his time, Mr. Spencer Iverson, and before we close out with a question and answer period. So if you guys got questions, things you want to know about your business, you need to write them down, because we're going to close out with that at the end. But I wanted him to come up. You know why? Because this guy is one of the most phenomenal trainers in the industry. I mean, his presentations are phenomenal. His trainings and his knowledge and his wealth of knowledge of this industry is, I'm talking about, second to none. So I wanted to give him a stage with you guys so you would get a chance to be trained and hear from one of the best, in my opinion, in the world. So, Mr. Spencer Iverson, man, take it away and give it to us however you want to, brother.
Appreciate it, guys. Guys, listen. Now, what you just saw from myself and Mr. Crump, you know, we were in presentation mode earlier. That was our nice cap. Now we have our training cap on. We tell you what you need to hear, not necessarily what you want to hear. Okay? And the first thing I want to help identify today is the very essence of why you will or will not become successful in direct sales. What I'm about to share with you is the very essence of why you will or will not become successful in direct sales. Forget Organo Gold for a second. This is the industry. What you have to have coming into this thing, whether you've been in for 30 days or 30 years, you have to have a very, very strong why. W-H-Y. You need to have a very strong why. If you don't have a strong why, then everything Mr. Crump just shared with you is irrelevant. It means nothing. I'll tell you my why. My why is to be a professional dad. That is my why. That's my why. Growing up as a kid, my dad's a preacher. We would grow up, and on Saturdays, every Saturday as far as I can remember, we would go to the nursing home. And we would visit older folks in nursing homes. Okay? Have you ever seen a nursing home where the parking lot expanded? They broke it. We could build more space. No. You know why? Because there are not a lot of visitors who go to nursing homes. And so I'm sitting there as a kid, from probably 10 to about 13, and I'm sitting there going into rooms, hospital rooms, and I'm listening to these folks, and I didn't know, they just wanted somebody just to listen. They just wanted a body in the room. And they would share with us all the time. And I would sit there one time, and I was talking to a guy, and he was telling me how he used to play in the Negro Leagues, and basically just sitting there just recounting all these great stories. Some people had marched with Martin Luther King, all kinds of great stuff. One of the constants, though, that I heard from almost every single person was the constant of regret. I wish I had spent more time with my kids. Now, at 10 to 13, I had no idea what that meant. I'm just listening. But I kept hearing it over and over and over. I just wished I had, oh, baby, I'm so glad you're here. I wish I had spent more time with my kids. That baby is going to pass, and they're going to grow up so fast. I had no idea what that meant. But now, as an adult with kids, I understand full well what that means. And I may miss some meetings. I might miss some professional conferences and seminars. I don't miss stuff with my kids. Because I want to be a professional dad. When my daughter's having donut day with Dad is there. When my daughters run around the track for little field day events, Dad is there. And when I'm there, guess who I see? More moms or more dads? Wow. Because guess where the dads are? At work. When my son is playing basketball, it's one voice he's going to hear above all the other thousands voices. He's going to hear Daddy's voice. Because that is time I will never get back. That is time I will never. That's my why. And if your why doesn't make you cry, your why is not big enough. If your why does not make you cry, your why has to be bigger than, I want to make more money. Who doesn't? Who doesn't? So, Geneva, what's your why?
My why is I'm a minister. I have a small church. I want to do more for the church, fix it up, and all of that. My children, I want to do more for my children, even though they're adults now. My grandchildren, and I have 2 great-grandchildren. I want to leave a legacy. I want to, when I'm gone, I want them to say, well, this is what my mother did.
Sure.
Yeah, that's my
Julie, briefly, what's your why?
My mother has Alzheimer's, and I have a sister who's challenged, both physically and mentally. And when the money runs out, I want to be able to step in for them.
My grandfather passed of Alzheimer's, and I know exactly how that is. Here's the man who taught me how to fish. He's the man who taught me how to be a man, how to be a dad, how to be a father. And to go into a hospital room where my grandfather didn't even recognize me. Right? I remember I was in Chicago, and I was flying from Chicago back to Atlanta after a big presentation, landed, and my grandmother, in between it, as long as my grandmother had just passed. My grandmother and grandfather were married for over 50 years. Went to the funeral, we're building our business, we're speaking in front of audiences around the world, and then 30 days later, my grandfather passed. Emotionally, I couldn't even go to the funeral. But I have a big why. Because understand that even though you have a big why, life is still going to happen.
Yes.
People still going to get sick. People are going to die. Stuff going to happen on your job. Stuff going to happen in your marital relationships. You still have to find a way to push through. Life is 10% what happens to you, 90% how you respond to it.
That's right.
Obstacles are what you see when you lose your focus. I'm still focused. Obstacles are still going to be there. Right? But focus, here's a great acronym for focus. Follow one course until successful. Some of us just can't stay focused. The grass always looks greener on the other side. But if you fertilize your grass will stay green too. Right? If you take care of your grass will be just as green. So you have to have a strong why. Why is that why important? So that when life happens, you can still hold on to that why. When nobody shows up to your coffee jazz mixer, you got your why. When you have the weekly meeting and nobody comes, you got your why. When you invite 10 people and one shows up, you got your why. How many of you invited some folks who did not show up today? That's okay, guys. I want you to go to YouTube and I want you to listen to a recording I did on the greatest networker ever. It's called Noah. He's called Noah. It's called Noah. Right? I'm going to give you a snippet. Guys, Noah preached to a group of folks over 100 years. Got some instructions. Had never seen it rain before. The earth used to be water from below. From the dew of the ground. They had never seen it before. But just because you haven't seen it, don't make it not true. So Noah's telling these folks, guys, listen. And the first folks he had to convince was who? He had to convince his family. He became known more by his circumstance than he ever did by his name. Man, you know, who's that crazy man over there building that? Oh, you about Noah? The crazy man building the boat? Oh, that's crazy, man. And he was begging them, saying, listen, I got some instructions. He was given some very specific instructions. He was told how wide, how high, how deep, how many doors, how many windows. Then he created the world's first binary. 2 by 2. Come on. 2 by 2, world's first binary. Go get 2 animals every kind. Because Noah, once you follow these instructions, one day, it's going to rain. And I don't care the fact that you haven't seen it before. I don't care that nobody's experienced it. But one day it's going to rain. And just because you haven't seen it don't mean it's not going to happen. Oh, but one, and so he's begging, he's pleading, he's begging, he's pleading. And, well, y'all please, come on, guys, come on. Can you imagine the friends? And I'm sure he had great relationships. Can you imagine his family, his friends, how embarrassed they must have been at times to be Noah's son, Noah's daughter-in-law? Tell your crazy dad I said, what's up? But Noah kept believing. Oh, but one day, God closed the door. He closed the door on our opportunity. And then that first drop hit. Oh, Scott, look at that. Then the second drop. Oh, then the third drop. Now it's time to get in. But for those who did not heed the call, but those who laughed, those who did not believe, it's cute. Oh, okay. Oh, this is neat. Okay. Now the water up to your ankles. Wait, hold on now. Hold on. Now the water's up to your waist. Wait. Now the boat has assumed buoyancy. The boat is floating. Now you floating. No, I was just playing with that. Oh, sure, man. Hey, go, man. Go. Quit playing, man. Go. No. God had closed the door now. That's right. And millions around the world died because they didn't believe in opportunity. Just because you didn't see it didn't mean it wasn't real. Guys, there are going to be a lot of folks that you talk to who don't see it. Just because you ain't never made $10,000 a week don't mean that I'm not going to make $10,000 a week. And guys, I tell folks, the moral of that story is I'm on the boat. So when I'm sharing with you the blessing that's Organo Gold, I feel sorry for you because I'm on the boat. Why should I feel bad because you just rejected the blessing? I'm on the boat. I'm safe. I'm good. So guys, your mindset has to be so firm in what you're doing. Your belief system has to be so high. And one of the ways that happens is by you having a high level of belief and by you having a strong why. Now, before you can do all of these steps, you have to take a measurement of where you are. Okay? You got to take a measurement of where you are. It's like a personal trainer. See, if you're a personal trainer, has anybody ever used a personal trainer before? Has anybody ever heard of a personal trainer? When you use a personal trainer, you don't just walk in, okay, give me 10 push-ups, give me 20 jumping jacks. No. You might kill somebody. What that person's going to do is do an assessment to, first of all, find out where you are. And based on where you are, then that person will cultivate a program that's fit for you. See, right now, one of the reasons why people can't win in direct sales is you've never done an assessment. You have never done an assessment of you. Where am I? Because this industry, as Mr. Crump has already shared, we were getting ready this morning. He was talking with a gentleman about going diamond. And he said, understand that this industry is about influence. It's about influence. What we have learned how to do, or what we've been confused about, is we have confused associations with influence. We have confused associations with influence. A lot of us have a lot of associates. Oh, I know so-and-so, I know so-and-so. Yes, but do you have any influence? There's a difference. Now, what I've created over the past 15 years or so in this industry, it's called the Iverson Influence Chart. It's called the Iverson Influence Chart. It works in any company. Right? I'll give it to you. This is going to help you establish a baseline to find out where you are from an influence standpoint in the industry of direct sales. Now understand this, that in the industry of direct sales, the average person in a 5-year career enrolls 2.7 individuals. 2.7. So let's use 2 as a number. So what you want to do is find out where you stand from an influence perspective. Now, there is no right or wrong answer to this. This is just going to help you understand where you need to go. Okay? If in your first 0 to 30 days, you're able to recruit, you're able to enroll 2 non-relatives into your business, you have a relatively high level of influence. In your first 30 days, if you're able to enroll 2 non-relatives, Mr. I got my poogie in, my sister in. No. You're able to put 2